on the nearby shore, roasting in the sun. Sunshine squinted toward her and saw something else that she hadn't noticed before. JL had breasts. 2 apple halves beneath an olive-green bikini top. Little green hills on a flat, pale landscape. Nearby, Aunt Lou swam past, legs kicking long, freckled arms wheeling slowly backwards. The sky was watery blue. If Aunt Lou wasn't around, swimming her slow backstroke in wide circles around Sunshine, she could go and plop on the sand next to her cousin and ask to look at the nipples, to feel for the stones. JL could tell her what they meant, and what they were called, and whether or not Sunshine should be worried. Later that summer, Sunshine would decide that the stones were to blame for all that happened. They were, she would eventually see, the first of several curses. She would connect the signs she had missed that day like weaving string for a cat's cradle, finger to finger to finger. The 2 stones. The set of red dust boot prints across the floorboards, the unseen ghost in the tangerine living room, and the too much bourbon. But before the later, she stood waist-deep in the water and decided, for now, to keep the stones secret. She strapped on her goggles and, seeing Aunt Lou was still swimming backstroke, turned and swam right up to the yellow rope. The lake was not actually a lake, but a wide brackish bayou with a pale crescent of beach and a dilapidated picnic table in the shade of an old oak. On this side of the lake, several springs bubbled up from deep underground and turned the water a cold, clear jade. Aunt Lou said that everyone thought the whole Atchafalaya was all muck and mosquitoes, but that places like this side of the lake were their best-kept secret. That winter, Sunshine's 5th-grade class had learned about the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, and Sunshine had pictured the ancient baths looking like this part of the lake, a jeweled green, the togas billowing under the water like sails. For their history project, Tommy Hutton had made a poster of the Roman baths, but all the people bathing were women with huge breasts that bulged out from under their togas, and Miss Collins had sent Tommy to Principal Murphy to be paddled. Where the spring met brackish water, the jade color turned abruptly opaque with silt. The shore opposite was crowded with tupelo and cypress, the water carpeted in a leafy layer of duckweed. Once, out in Moss Landry's bateau, Sunshine and Billy and Moss had watched, shocked, as a gator leapt from under the duckweed and snatched a mama duck sitting on her eggs in the hollow of a rotting tupelo. On the Fingertip side, Sunshine had only ever seen one gator anywhere close to their swimming hole, a young 3-footer moving sluggishly in the cold water, already turning back for the warmer shore. Still, someone had long ago tied up a yellow safety rope to emphasize the boundary you could already plainly see in the water's change of color. "Never ever let me catch you swimming under that yellow rope," Aunt Lou reminded them every summer. And Sunshine obeyed, but she liked to put on her goggles and swim up to the edge. Billy had given her the goggles for her birthday last summer. They had a red rubber strap, and their lenses were made from the good kind of plastic that didn't easily fog up. She rose to the surface for a breath and checked that Aunt Lou wasn't paying attention, then ducked her head under again. In the clear water, a school of minnows scattered like arrows. Sand drifted and swirled. The water just past the yellow rope was a strange, shadowy green. How thrilling to know that there, so close, only a few breaststrokes away, was a whole other world. She imagined she was in the Black Bayou now, that she was lost in all that murky water. She watched as from that clouded green emerged the head of the crocodile. At first, he was just a dark shadow, and then the shadow began to materialize, solidify, and she realized that looming before her